Festive season, armed robberies continue. Hagen police prepare for New Year operations. And East New Britain expecting more cruise ships.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Thursday's news. Boss, a Chinese ICT and e-commerce company located at 9 Mile in Port Moresby, was robbed by criminals in the wee hours of this morning. An estimated 900,000 kina worth of valuable properties and cash were stolen by armed thugs who broke into the company's premises. This comes a day after another Chinese businessman was robbed along the Hiritano Highway.
Workers said at 3 a.m. about 15 masked men went into the company premises, outnumbered them, held them at gunpoint, tied them up and seized their phones before entering the building.
Tupla gunmen mosem ololim tripla gun o come inside mosem mitla hadlo move there's a sit down so.
It's thought that this may have been an inside job because the gate was opened.
Now, there were no evidences of broken fence where the thugs would have entered into the building.
The criminals accessed the building through the kitchen door, broke open the main door, then went upstairs and held the company executives who were still in bed. Company director Eric Lin said it happened so fast that they held him to gunpoint before they ransacked all valuable properties in the building.
Dark, and I just woke up. I wasn't fully aware, so I didn't get a clear view of their faces. And they immediately asked me for the monies, and then took me outside and forced me to lay down on the floors. My laptop, my phones, my wallet, with some cash, They took everything, but anything that's valuable.
Chief Executive Officer Denny Linney described the robbery as unfortunate, saying the company had lost all its properties to the criminals.
Because now I cannot, they even took my equipment. Now I cannot continue my job. I worry about this. And what happened last night scared away my investors. And I need to convince them to continue this project. And I accept, some, boys, they hungry, they don't have money, to support their family, they rob someone.
This is the second robbery reported in Port Moresby. Yesterday, a Chinese man was robbed at Laloki Bridge outside of Port Moresby. He also lost substantial amount of cash. Both matters have been reported to police and investigations are underway. Eric Arupman, National EMTV News.
Drums of sea cucumbers were found in 3 foreign fishing vessels belonging to Vietnamese fishermen caught in the Milne Bay waters. The illegal vessels were apprehended during a joint operation between the PNG Navy and Australia Maritime Border Command. The Special Operation Codename OPS Xmas 2016 captured the 3 vessels containing the 77 drums of sea cucumbers. The 50 foreigners on board were handed over to authorities in Alotau. PNG Defence Force Chief of Staff Colonel Ray Numa congratulated the Australian Maritime Border Command and the members of Hagen PNGS Seadla for their effort in this operation. Food plays a vital role during the festive season, bringing friends and loved ones together, but it can also be a major health risk. Pacific International Hospital Medical Director and Chief Physician Dr. Suresh Venkita raised this concern, saying people are enjoying the food but are ignorant of the damages it may cause.
Food is part of Papua New Guinea's culture, seen as one significant element for settling differences, showing appreciation or just bringing friends and families together. People commonly identify alcohol as the main health risk during the festive season. However, the type and amount of food consumed are major health risks that most people don't pay attention to.
Interestingly, I have both, the aspects to be considered. One is, of course, I mentioned alcohol. Number two is even food. Enjoying food is important, but as the food's quantity begins to increase, quality is always important. You want to enjoy a glass of wine, you want to enjoy your dinner, you want to enjoy a dessert, it's all absolutely fine. But excessive eating, excessive drinking is what creates a problem. So it's good to enjoy the good things in life. Don't go to a point where the good food and the good drink can give you a major problem.
Pacific International Hospital emergency saw less than 4 alcohol-related cases, whereas there were more cases on lifestyle diseases.
But we have seen 45 in this Christmas period. We have seen just a number of cases that were alcohol-related injuries, and I would say about 3 that we have seen, and they were just mostly minor ailments.
Add years to your life. Always watch what you eat, even during the festive season.
Enjoy life, but also enjoy good health. Health is something, money if you lose, you can make money back. If you lose your health, you can't make health back. So preserve your health as a very vital part of your life.
Gaile Kivali, National EMTV News.
The Mount Hagen Police hosted its parade today to continue their Christmas New Year operation. Western Highlands Provincial Police Commander, Chief Superintendent Martin Lakari, urged police to maintain law and order in this festive season. The Chinese community in the Highlands region also donated a 20,000 kina check to Mount Hagen Police to support their operation.
At the parade, the Western Highlands PPC, Martin Lakari, praised his policemen and women for conducting a peaceful and trouble-free Christmas operation. He urged them to continue their work through to New Year.
Because Christmas, they have done it very well, and as a result, there was a trouble-free Christmas operations.
The people of Western Highlands Province have seen a decrease in police brutality cases this year. PPC Lakari urged the police during the parade to maintain their good behavior and discipline. He is also appealing to the public, including business houses in Western Highlands Province, to assist police in combating crime in the city.
The policing job is not only for policemen and women, but it's for the people. People in government, people in business, stakeholders, people in politics. I want nearly everyone to participate.
Meanwhile, the Highlands Chinese Fuching community presented a 20,000 kina check to Mount Hagen Police for their appreciation in keeping peace in the province. PPC Lakari said the police are looking forward for a peaceful New Year operation and will use this money for the operation.
But also still continue making it. Yeah, maybe women, or children. Yeah, this one also in small schools outside the community, outside the Hagen town areas.
Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Morobe Governor Kelly Naru says 2017 will be a year focused on debt servicing and maintenance of existing infrastructure. Naru made the remarks in light of provincial debt worth more than 20,000 kina. The money is owed to contractors and other service providers.
After attending one of the many public engagements outside of Lae City, Morobe Governor Kelly Naru highlighted the key points in the recently passed provincial budget. The figure of over 400 million kina, as expected, was much less than what the province needs. An item that will stand out next year is the province's debt of some 23 million kina.
We have addressed that somewhat by allocating funds to basically look at mitigating the impact of excessive debt that our province has incurred. At the same time, streamlining and taking measures to ensure that we don't overrun our budget. We live within our means.
Much of what's contained in the debt figure comes from money owed to contractors and service providers.
Part of it is also due to the fact that we have not been paid by the national government because of delay in the receipt of funds on time, particularly PSIP. But as funds become due and we receive the funds, we basically try to offset some of these dues to us.
It will take at least 2 years for the debt to be settled. In 2017, 7 million kina has been allocated to pay off some of that debt. A strong warning has been issued against poor accountability within the administration. Scott Waide, National MTV News, Leh.
A person with special needs was hit by a running vehicle while crossing the road from Laguna Hotel towards Games Village in Port Moresby this afternoon. He was taken to Port Moresby General Hospital and is in critical condition at the emergency ward. Eyewitnesses, mainly mothers from Games Village, told EMTV that Iggy was hit by a vehicle that ran over him. The driver of the vehicle that hit Iggy said he mistakenly took him for being a drunken man.
Just come, normal man, just come inside. But when something, sanabit upset na la road here. Right. Come sila tablo sila lene sila kam lene mos mi kam pregantabe. But my name binis. Then mos mi itimem na. Punda lab stab name. One member. Lawyer wala kare move you one so. Tasul milisa.
In the news ahead, East New Britain Province records 13 cruise liners that have entered its waters this year. That story, among others, after the break. Welcome back. East New Britain has recorded 13 cruise ships that had visited the province this year, with over 14,000 tourists choosing this hub as their destination. The East New Britain Provincial Tourism Authority are expecting more ship visits in the next few months. Edwin Fidelis reports from Kokopo.
In the East New Britain province, the volcanoes and war relics are what holiday broadsheets are made of, making it an international destination for tourists. Last week, when Sea Princess, a frequent visitor of the province, came, it brought on it more tourists.
Looking at it first glance, it hasn't changed much because the vegetation has grown back after the earthquake. Was it Vulcan? Vulcan, was it? Yeah. We were here 1970 to 1972.
This year, about 13 cruise ships have come to the province, registering over 14,000 tourists so far. Unlike before, the tourism industry won't be isolated to the provincial administration. The provincial government says it will partner with the ordinary people in the villages to get them to drive the industry for the province.
We need to find something that we can, help our people to grow their own economy.
The provincial government has been encouraging its people to look into the future and into areas that have remained largely untapped over the years. Opportunities like tour guiding, transportation and accommodation businesses. For August Aporo, an escort driver, business always looks promising for him every time a cruise ship is in town.
600 and what we can talk silent lo our coins lo mi plalo our aritis pay mi plaso. We play just stop, thank you.
The East New Britain Tourism Authority says over the next few months, the province will be expecting more tourists to come on big ships, and more ships coming means more money will be coming into the province. Edwin Fidelis, National MTV News, Kokopo.
East New Britain Province will be constructing its first ever solar power plant for the province in the next few months. The multi-million solar power plant will produce 20 megawatts of electricity. Governor Eramanto Bining Jr. says this is to prepare the province for the 2018 APEC Summit, where East New Britain will host part of the meeting.
License has been issued to the developer, a partnership with the provincial government and the district, Kokopo district and Bitapaka local level government. for 30 years lease. They will come and construct the 20 megawatts and then again hook up to the main grid of PNG Power, which we've signed the MOU with PPL, Lenape Group of Companies and the provincial government here in East New Britain.
Pomio is one of the remote districts in East New Britain province that has been facing challenges with its road infrastructure, health and education services for far too long. Until recently, the district has gained attention as a key area for development in the province. A road has been constructed to link the district with the provincial capital, Kokopo, for the first time.
Pomio district is a remote district of East New Britain province. To get to Pomio, it requires a 4-hour journey by road. The district, like any other rural district in the country, has its own share of problems. Over the years, its roads haven't been fixed. The schools, health services, and law and order have been the people's major concerns.
Now development come up, you must get police.
Until recently, the district is slowly seeing some changes.
This is the corridor.
Last Friday, local MP Elias Kapoware announced new plans to improve the welfare of his people, especially in the South Coast Sinivit area.
Here, it's actually marking close to about 67, 68 kilometers of road, which in some other areas, they come on to spend up to so many millions of kina, also multi-millions of kina.
Good road infrastructure means government services will be reaching the people in the villages. Education, health, and social services will be upgraded, and rundown coconut plantation businesses are expected to be operating again, Mr. Kapoware says.
And going towards West New Britain. So there's a lot of economic activities coming here. And I ask the government to make that commitment to put some money into this economic corridor so we can open up economic activities and alleviate poverty so that we can make the plenty of development plans for me.
PME businesses are also expected to operate frequently between Kokopo town and the Pomio district because of the road access. Pomio district have been featured prominently in the 2017 East New Britain budget handed down last week. The East New Britain Governor, Aramanto Baining Jr., says more developments will be happening in the remote district compared to previous years.
And of course, what we're trying to do now is to build up Pomio, bring up Pomio so that it will become like Kokopo, Gazelle and Rabaul. That's why our biggest priority on the South Coast Corridor development.
Meanwhile, there are also other plans in place to improve its telecommunication networks and improve the road network from Pomio all the way to West New Britain province. Alphonse Aime, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
After over 40 years of neglect, the people of Semberigi Erave in Southern Highlands are happy an impact project has been approved for their people. The working committee told EMTV News the road project will ignite other developments in their communities. The road project was allocated with 150 million kina by the national government.
The Semberigi Erave Road Project Working Committee made their way to Port Moresby with smiles on their faces following the good news. They say the announcement by the national government to approve the road project is a cry answered for communities in Sisike, Niai, Yanguri and Mararogo.
More, how many long years for life? People suffer, back page. So it's a Christmas present today. God bless him for about 1,000 to 2,000 years of suffer.
The national government approved a sum of 150 million for the 40-kilometer stretch of road following a petition by Semberigi communities. The road project is part of the Aigiru Highway, a missing link prioritized by the government that will connect Gulf and Southern Highlands.
Why now road pass? Upon this reason, miblo neutral line harem kraiblo man merilo place, na miblo harem desla kraiblo man merilo place.
Henrik Yamo, the son of a pioneer missionary from Yanguri, says the working committee is an entity vested with a mission to push for this impact project for the people to benefit.
Role of this committee long intervene so that our people is all right.
CPEC and local landowner company Gobe Field Engineering will be in charge of the remaining 30 kilometers.
Give me this road as a Christmas gift. And any good news, churches, na people on top.
Work for the road project is set to begin mid-next year. Jack Lapava Jr. National EMTV News.
The 9-mile Garahu Road will have its street lights lit up this evening. This morning, electrical inspectors from PNG Power Limited were at the 9-mile Gerahu Road to test and energize the streetlights for the 4-lane road. They said the delay in connecting the power for the streetlights was because NCD, who is responsible for the lights, notified them in the later process of the construction. This has caused a delay for PPL to have materials ready, as some had to be ordered. Meanwhile, PPL says vandalism is a challenge they face with connecting power sources. This is one of the reasons why some places do not receive power supply, like in the Baruni area. And now looking at our finance news, the Kina closed unchanged at 0.3150 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying 0.3075 US dollars, 0.4259 Australian dollars, 0.2927 euro and 35.69 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, cocoa and copra closed the day higher. Palm oil closed higher, copper closed lower, and crude oil also closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 111 points lower, the ASX is trading at 14 points higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 14 points lower. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. A rice cooperative made up of over 100 farmers has sold 6 tons of locally grown rice to Trukai Industries. Chingwam Rice Cooperative harvested 6 hectares of rice and made around 15,000 kina. The cooperative is now preparing 100 hectares for planting with the help of Trukai expertise. Bethany Herman with this report from Markham Valley.
The rice farmers didn't do it alone. Every day, experts from Trukai Rice go out to Markham, 150 kilometers from Leh, to conduct extension work. The result of that partnership and effort has given the people a glimpse of economic independence. Chingwam has made money, 15,000 kina, from 6 hectares of rice.
I think me apply 100 hectares. Now I'm me walk long. Me planning 30 hectares or 40 hectares finish. Planning finish, go down finish. That's so long. New plan now you sana blongen. I'm not a 60 hectares logo. Now I'm more yet logo yet.
100 hectares means the farmers stand to harvest rice worth up to 190,000 kina for the local market. Trukai has been in partnership with the group from day one. The rice company has been providing the expertise and the machines to produce the rice.
It's about engaging farmers on their own land, and that's what we want to do. That's what Trukai wants to do with a lot of the farmers that we are engaging throughout the country, where we are developing or in partnership with them. So this is a model that we like to promote and encourage.
Rice Development Manager Humphrey Saese has been working closely with the farmers. Trukai is in partnership with farmers from West New Britain, Central and the Oro Province. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Leh.
Turning overseas, Cuban President Raul Castro warned that the Cuban economy had shrunk in 2016, but dismissed the possibility of turning to capitalism and forecast a brighter outlook for 2017. President Castro, who has promised economic reforms, did say foreign investment is one area that could improve. Since approving a law to bolster foreign investment more than 2 years ago, Cuba has approved just $1.3 billion worth of projects. It aims to take in $2 billion annually, making investment an important growth driver.
Castro said it was necessary to overcome the obsolete mentality full of prejudice towards foreign investment, adding that investment in the energy sector was key. Earlier, the government announced the economy shrank 0.9% this year. Since the government had reported 1% growth in the first half of the year, the new figures suggest sharp economic contraction in the second half after the cash-strapped government slashed imports, investment and fuel in response to lower exports and a drop in cheap oil deliveries from Venezuela. He also welcomed a new law approved by the National Assembly that bans commemorative statues of Fidel Castro and naming public places after him. Castro always said he did not want a cult of personality, although critics point out that the cult was everywhere. His words are posted on billboards nationwide, and his name is invoked at every public event. Some experts fear that future growth from thawing relations with the United States may also be at risk since Republican Donald Trump's victory in the U.S. presidential election. Trump, who takes office January 20, has vowed to terminate President Barack Obama's engagement with Cuba unless Havana gives the United States what he calls a better deal. Castro did not comment on the future of Cuban-U.S. relations, except to recall the negative impact of the embargo. Cuba's centrally planned economy has struggled for decades with the U.S. economic embargo and mismanagement at home. Still, the long slump in global fuel prices is hurting many of Cuba's top trading partners, such as Angola, Venezuela, and Brazil, and revenue from the sale of professional services to those countries has dropped. Key ally Venezuela has slashed its provision of cheap oil, and the drop in global commodities prices is punishing Cuban exports of nickel, refined oil products, and sugar. A fiscal boost to production and investment should help fuel growth next year, according to the Assembly's Economic Commission. The fiscal deficit will rise to 12% of GDP. Merlin Diaukatam, MTV World News.
14-year-old Brian sat looking behind the windows grills of a government-run juvenile center on the outskirts of Manila. Not wanting to reveal his real name, Brian was arrested by the police during a drug raid in September and was required to stay at the government's House of Hope for a year. Life was not bad, he says, because he was being taken care of by social workers and was taught lessons like a regular child.
They hold daily gatherings and are encouraged to share their stories without being judged by others. But that condition could change when a bill lowering the criminal liability of children is passed into law. Lawmakers are rushing to pass a bill which lowers the criminal liability of minors from 16 to as young as 9 years old. Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte claims that many syndicates are using children and teenagers to commit crimes and are being used as drug mules. That bill could affect Brian and will give him a criminal record even if he desires to change. Duterte, a former crime-busting mayor in southern Philippines, has vowed to eradicate drugs in the country. Police data between July 1st to August 28 this year showed that more than 20,000 people below 18 have surrendered to authorities for possessing narcotics. Since taking office in June 30, more than 5,000 people have been killed in his drug war. Police say 2,004 have been killed by officers in self-defense, while another 3,060 killings are under investigation. Human rights groups say those in the latter group were extrajudicial killings. April Amistoso, a social worker who helps out at the non-profit children's center Bahay Tuluyan, says imprisoning children is not a quick fix solution, but the authorities should instead focus on eliminating poverty and improving rehabilitation measures for children. Her group, which takes in street children and helps with taking care of minors in conflict with the law, employ counseling and positive reinforcement as a means of rehabilitation. Filipinos expressed mixed opinions regarding the proposed change in the law. Duterte says the country is producing a generation of criminals unless drugs and crime syndicates are stopped. Along with the criminal liability bill, Duterte has proposed a nationwide curfew for minors and revival of capital punishment to deter Filipinos from getting involved in drugs. Melissa Gaviro, MTV World News.
Debbie Reynolds, one of Hollywood's biggest stars in the 1950s and 1960s, died yesterday at age 84, one day after her daughter Carrie Fisher passed away, Reynolds' son Todd Fisher said. Reynolds was taken to a Los Angeles hospital yesterday afternoon. Todd said, "My mother passed away a short time ago. She spoke to me this morning and said she missed Carrie."
We're alone now and I'm singing my song for you.
Singer
Dancer, actress. Debbie Reynolds was a Hollywood triple threat and America's sweetheart. Her film career began at the age of 16 after being spotted in a beauty pageant. I'm laughing at clouds. Her star officially launched just a few years later after a spirited performance opposite Gene Kelly and Donald O'Connor in 1952's Singin' in the Rain.
They picked me to put me in Singing in the Rain, then they just locked me in a big old studio, and for 3 months I had 5 different teachers, one for tap and ballet, jazz, modern, and I just worked, you know, till I would just fall apart. Tammy.
Other notable roles followed, including 1957's Tammy and the Bachelor, which resulted in her #1 hit song, Tammy. She played opposite Gregory Peck in How the West Was Won, and her performance in The Unsinkable Molly Brown earned her an Oscar nomination.
I'm gonna learn to read and write.
Beloved on screen, at times, Reynolds' life off screen overshadowed her success. She had 2 children with her first husband, crooner Eddie Fisher, producer Todd Fisher, and actress and author Carrie Fisher. In 1959, the marriage ended in a highly publicized divorce when Fisher left Reynolds to marry her close friend, Elizabeth Taylor. A painful betrayal, Reynolds was able to joke about the scandal years later.
I was a Girl Scout. I really was really a simple little girl, and that's what I was. And he fell madly in love with Elizabeth. There's nothing, now I understand, you know, so many years later, and it's in the past.
Her second and third marriages also ended in divorce, each time causing Reynolds financial pain. However, she had quietly been collecting Hollywood memorabilia over the years that would prove a wise investment. In 2011, Reynolds sold Marilyn Monroe's white subway dress at auction for $4.6 million. She also never quit performing. Though she stepped away from film for much of her career, Reynolds continued to entertain on Broadway stages and in Las Vegas nightclubs.
All I need is...
In addition, Reynolds had several TV roles over the years, notably playing Liberace's mother in the 2013 Emmy-winning TV movie Behind the Candelabra. Her wide array of work was recognized in 2015 when the Screen Actors Guild honored Reynolds with the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Debbie Reynolds, right here.
Reynolds says she loved every minute she spent in show business in her 2013 autobiography, Unsinkable. She credited the love she had for her friends and family for her personal and professional resiliency.
I paid $20,000 for this sucker.
And it is that spark and sense of humor, along with her talent, that Reynolds will be remembered for.
I love you. Good night, everybody.
Chukai Sports is next. We'll be back with the details after these short messages.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. The off-season 2016 Wawens Cup is on again at Lace Football Association grounds. The event has attracted a pool of 73 teams of senior men's, women's and under-16 men's. Teams came from the hinterlands of Morbe, from the Wantoat area to coastal Finschhafen. A lone team from the Ora province has also registered to play. The competition is into day 3, round 18. Alex Toki, competition coordinator, says regardless of politics in the higher echelons of national football, teams are participating for the love of the sport. Amid controversy, David Chung, president of the PNG Football Association, has been re-elected following the PNGFA's 14th General Congress held in Kimbe yesterday. While he announced his mission statement for the next 4 years, he also told EMTV Sports why certain members of the PNG Football Association were suspended.
Upon regaining presidency for another term, David Chung stated clearly his main agenda for the next 4 years. The National Soccer League will be the main agenda, which includes the men's and the women's soccer league, along with the national teams, will be prioritized. The president acknowledged that building a football foundation is vital and education programs have already been drawn up to cater for that. Adding to those, the Women's Soccer League, which was launched this year, will kick off competition next year under his guidance. Chung believes women's football must be given prominence.
And I wanted the women to have their own competitions, their own separate competitions. Besides the men, there is the usual customary way where we do here in Papua New Guinea. Normally the competition, the men and women go together. I wanted the women to take the lead by themselves and to separate the competitions by themselves.
With the suspension of a number of PNGFA members, strengthening members' associations will also be a key area of work as they will work towards a better PNGFA.
We will strengthen the members' association. That was my main objective because majority of the members' association was very weak, not properly constituted, in accordance to the statutes. That's why today you see a lot of members were suspended for. You see, so our first aim is to strengthen the members' associations. They have to comply. The suspensions is rectified today. They have to comply. There are conditions they have to comply. Once they comply, the executive committee has the power to lift the suspension. So the onus is on them.
In the absence of 11 other members, 6 were present in support of Chung's fourth term, including Maha Waname from Kimbe, Shem Farak of WOW, Jack Payak of NBPOL, Donald Apati from Mount Hagen, with appointed executive committee member Simon Koima. Dini Rose Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
NCD Taekwondo, in conjunction with Stones Taekwondo, will revive the popular Golden Kicks concept by staging the Golden Kicks Open Challenge on the 21st and 22nd of January 2017. With the suspension of Taekwondo PNG, NCD Taekwondo and Stones Taekwondo are embarking on promoting the code throughout suburbs, settlements, Motukoitabu villages and the country as a whole. The Golden Kicks tournaments will stage monthly tournaments, including with a Grand Slam in December 2017. Chukai Sports continues after the break. The Sydney to Hobart Yacht race, among others, when we return. Stay tuned.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome back to Chukai Sports. The PNG Athletics Union has released its 2017 and 2018 calendars that will take effect in January. The calendar includes both national and international events in PNG and abroad. Rolex Sydney to Hobart race, which takes place on Boxing Day each year, saw a new time record broken by the winning yacht Perpetual Loyal at a time of 4 hours and 52 minutes after arriving at the Constitution Dock in Hobart yesterday morning. It's a win. Skipper Anthony Bell makes an understatement, saying it paid off.
It was a win not to be missed after Perpetual Loyal was given the opportunity after Wild Oats was asked to retire due to a technical error, making it the only yacht disappointed to seek resignation 2 years in a row. This allowed Perpetual Loyal to pick up the win, sailing smoothly to the finish line. Arriving at Constitution Dock after a smooth sail from Sydney to Hobart, Perpetual Loyal made a new record time of 4 hours and 52 minutes, arriving at the finish line at 2:30 a.m. in just the same day of the voyage. Perpetual Loyal skipper Anthony Bell may have made an understatement by saying it paid off, but most importantly thanked the people who helped him to sail the yacht to its victory. Taking second place was Giacomo of New Zealand, with Hong Kong's Scallywag in third place, while Queensland's Blackjack was fourth to arrive at the Constitution Dock. The team of sailors celebrated the win, cheering and spraying champagne, a new toast to a new record win that may take some time to beat. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
Former French Open champion Anna Ivanovic has announced her retirement from tennis at the age of 29. The former women's world #1 said she retired from tennis because she no longer feels fit enough to compete at the highest level.
Ivanovic was the first Serbian woman to win a Grand Slam tournament when she beat Russian Dinara Safina in the 2008 France Open final. The 29-year-old says she began dreaming about tennis at the age of 5, and with her parents' support, She became world #1 in 2008. Her France Open victory launched Ivanovic to the summit of the Women's Tennis Association Tour rankings, but she only occupied the top spot for a few weeks and dropped to 22nd at the end of 2009 after a dramatic loss of form. But with determination, she returned to the top 5 in 2014 and reached the France Open semi-finals in 2015. After losing to title-known Zach Denisa Aletova in the US Open first round in her final match on the WTA Tour. Striking a happy figure, she announces her retirement with a smile in a live address to her fans, thanking them for their support over the years. Shane Soroya, National MTV Sports.
And that ends Chukai Sports. The weather details when we come back.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow: in the southern region, thundery showers in all centers. In the Momase region, thundery showers in Ley, Medang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, showers in Lorengau and Kavieng, and thundery showers in Kimbe and Buka, with showers also in Kokopo and Ribal. And in the Highlands region, thundery showers in Mount Hagen and rain showers in Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg.
Weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Before we go, a quick look at our stories making headlines. Festive season armed robberies continue. Hagen police prepare for New Year operations, and East New Britain expecting more cruise ships. And that's been National EMTV News for this Thursday, the 29th of December 2016. From the entire news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.